Hello my friends and welcome back into the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are going to have an awesome Monday and happy December 1st. We are now in December. Here it is. It's here, whether we want it to be or not. But I think we want it to be, don't we? Welcome to BEADMAS Day 11, my friends. And today, what we have in store are icicle ornaments. I love making these similarly to what I was mentioning in the bookmark BEADMAS video. Guys, they're so relaxing to me, and you can just get so lost in making icicle ornaments and design them in 1,001 different ways. So relaxing and fun, but boy, are they beautiful. Again, we can use these for decor, hang them on our garland, hang them on a wreath, on your tree, tie them on a package, gift them. Endless options for handmade giftables. But I have a special treat, my friends. Today, for our second to the last day of BEADMAS, we are going to do 3 different icicle ornaments, and we are going to put a spiral icicle ornament in the mix. So I hope you guys will bead and craft along with me and make some beautiful icicle and spiral icicle ornaments of your own. So let's jump to it, shall we, friends? Golden Glow. This is in a kit form. I will link them in the video for you. This is called Golden Glow, and this is just beautiful. And although it is spiraled, you can absolutely make it straight, and you can also make your spirals tighter if you want when you're wrapping your wire around your object. It comes with everything you see, some beautiful golden beads, the crystal snowflakes, some beautiful gold rondelles are in there, and then that beautiful prism, and it does come with your craft wire. And this is a nest prism. So that is the Golden Glow spiral icicle ornament that I have in a kit. And this one is in the store as well. Now this one is really fun. It's got those cuboid diagonals with some beautiful green glass. They're kind of like a frost and a glitter paint bead. And then, of course, some 8mm green rondelles there. And I put the wire on the outside, and I just kind of, bent it a little bit. You could also, keep it straight if you wanted to. This also comes with the craft wire. And it is a 20 gauge craft wire in titanium, and it's a tarnish resistant wire. So these are they're just really fun. We can do lots of fun things. So these two are a kit. And on this one, I cut like 24 inches because I don't know how much I'm gonna need, right? Of this 24 gauge wire. And all I did was just picked up some small beads in a 4mm and just fed them on in a fun pattern. So I have some 4mm crystals in clear and some 4mm silver little fun round 4mm beads, and I kind of just spaced them throughout randomly. This is going to spiral on the outside. Okay, now the other thing, friends, that we can use for a spiral ornament, an icicle ornament, is, yes, I have it. She's back, my silicone little mini rolling pin. I love this, and this is exactly what I made this one with. I use this. We can use a dowel, a mandrel, any object that we have. Depends on, again, how big we want our spiral once we get to spiral. This one I'm going to make a straight icicle, and we're going to spiral the outside, and we're going to make like a variation like this today. Okay, so the other things I am going to use here, friends, I have a hook. It's in gold. Okay, we can make our own hook if we want, but I'm going to put this one on here. And, of course, we'll use some flush cutters, some round nose pliers, and some chain nose. Okay, and any object, like I said, once we get to spiraling on the next one. But let's make the icicle variation like this first. So I have my piece of wire here. Now what I am going to do on this one is I am going to work from the bottom up, okay? So I'm just going to do a small wire wrap loop and attach my charm to the bottom or whatever. So I'm going to put my bend in that there, and I think I'm going to do just a standard wire wrap loop here. The reason I've chosen that right now, I am going to put my hook on it though, is simply because I do want a stem right here and a little bit of room to wrap the beautiful embellishment that we're about to do with the beads on the outside. So I did want to do a wire, I did opt, can't talk as per usual, I did want to do a wire wrap loop here for that reason. We're going to end up wrapping and tucking that other wire right in this same section. So we've got that done. And you know, you guys, again, you just have some fun with your beads. I just hope to give you some ideas or motivate you. Motivate you to make some beautiful things. So I'll lay this way. This is what I've got going on here. What's your issue? Okay, there you go. Okay, so there we go. And also notice how my beads, they're kind of just twirling around. Oh, I just love it. So that's what that looks like. Okay, and it's super, look how long it is, right? Super long, I'll tell you. Let me get my glitter out, my glitter ruler. That's about 6 inches, friends. So that's super long, okay? So here's what I'll do in order to wrap. Let me pull you in just a smidge if you want to do something similar. Okay, so I typically will start at the bottom, and I'm going to put a sharp bend like I have here in, you know, one side of my wire, and again, kind of leaving some room so my beads can move as I'm about to spiral them around my icicle. Okay, so we don't crack our beads. So just try to put some sort of a tight bend. I'm even going to squeeze this together just so that those beads will not fall off. I don't have to think about them while I'm doing this part. Okay, so I will grab my tail now, and I am going to put, so you can see the contrast against the copper, right, with the silver wire. I want to put now this around, and I'm just going to wrap it to basically stabilize this. Okay, so we'll wrap it around our existing wraps right here. And so I'm just going to go around like a couple, 3, 4, 5 times, whatever, to fill that gap up. Just like that, guys. I'm almost not even going to really worry about even trimming in any of that wire. I can probably just tuck it in. Okay? So there we go. And now that wire is pretty much stabilized there. There you go. Okay, so here's what I now have, right? There's the end. Okay, and guys, we just simply literally spiral it. So I'm just gonna go around just like this. And by the way, as I'm going around, I can feel it pulling, and it's wanting to push beads up. So that's why it's important to give yourself a long working tail here on the top, because I can feel them pulling as I'm wrapping them around here. And I don't want them to break, right? So do be mindful of that. Okay, you can spiral them however you want to spiral them. Tight, doesn't matter. Just go round and round. Okay, so now I need to tighten that up, right? So I'll just unspiral that because I have a little bit more at the top here than I thought I did. So that's easy. We're just gonna unspiral it. I'm gonna go back to the start, and I'm gonna go here and just tighten that up a little bit better. Make my wraps a little closer together, basically. And round and round. That's better. Little tighter together. And now I'm coming up to the top here. Okay, And here's what I'm gonna do now. Just simply gonna grab this wire, make sure I get it right there at the top, and we'll wrap it around. So I'm first gonna go between that 6mm before I get to my wraps there in the copper. And then I'm gonna kind of come up and go around my copper wire here. And just wrap it, guys. We'll just wrap it around a couple of times here. Whatever. We can do a bunch of messy wraps just like that if we wanted to. Look at that. Apparently that's what I did as I was talking about it. I did it as I was talking about it. Can do as many wraps as you want here. They can be clean or messy. It does not matter one bit. You will never notice, but what you will notice is how sparkly and beautiful that this is. Wherever you hang it. Now I am going to go ahead and trim that. And we'll tuck that in. And we've got number 1 done. And let me show you that. Let me see, where is my front? Is this way. And so let's get that a little straighter there. I can straighten this out a little bit. Move things around a smidge if I need to, which I did. Push these beads down. Just kind of work it out, however. There we go. And this hook is on there already, so it's not coming off. How about that, guys? Isn't that beautiful? Is that a beautiful way to make an icicle with an exterior spiral? I mean, this, I hope you guys can pick up how absolutely stunning that this is. Just stunning. A regular standard icicle ornament, something similar to these, okay? So I have a beautiful selection of beads here, right? And so what I would do in this case is I am going to take half of this wire and wrap it around the outside, such as you see here, right? Okay. And so in order to do that, I'm just going to figure out my pattern and then feed on my first bead. Okay. So what I like to do is, and again, I'm just crafting with you guys here and giving you some ideas. Do whatever you want, but I like to go from like largest bead to smallest. I don't know. I just think it just looks cool that way. I like it. I just, it's like, to me, kind of traditional, the way an icicle hangs off your gutters and off those there. So I kind of like to go from the largest to the smallest, okay? And then I got this, oh, this is so pretty. I love this bead. Oh, it's falling. It's falling. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so I'm not going to do any dangle. I'm just going to feed all my beads directly on my wire and then spiral it on the outside. So I'm going to feed my first bead on, and I'm going to be, do you notice where I put kind of a little bit of a bend here? I hope you can see it. It's very subtle, but there's a tiny little bend in my wire. It's just as giving me a guide where to kind of stop, okay? And feeding on my beads, guys. Now what I'm going to do is, here's the end of my wire here, okay? And I'm just going to go up and put my finger here to stop these beads from coming off my wire. And I'm just going to put a right bend in to act again as a stopper. And all I need to do is do a right bend with enough wire, friends, that I can do a wire wrap loop, or again, you can even do a simple loop if you wanted. And I think that that should be plenty. So I'm gonna kind of go right there and put a bend in my wire. So there we go. Okay, and so now that'll stop my bead so I can just comfortably hold them here. And I'm just going to grab this bottom wire. We're gonna pull it on up. There we go, we just pulled it up, okay? And we just simply twist it around however we want. We can do 2 twirls around. We can intentionally cut way more wire, and you can twirl your wire in between every single bead. You can make them intentionally lay on every bead, however you want to do it. So I'm gonna go just basically kind of rando. So let's give that a nice little wrap. Now I'm gonna push that down into place. And probably do one more. So that's actually kind of a funky like messy wrap, which, you know, I'm not mad at that. You know, I love any kind of wraps. If they're messy, clean, it does not matter. Straighten this back out. Okay, and now let me push that up, and let's get rid of that other tail there, right there. And I'm just gonna come in here with my round nose, and let's just see if we can get a wire wrap loop in here. And we'll just trim. Okay, so I finally got to be the boss of that. It's being really fussy, and it's because I have such a large whole bead at the top there. But I bossed it around, and I won. And I made a nice big fat wrap up here, which is too cool. As cool as a cucumber. We'll tuck that in there a little bit. Love that. I love that messy wrap look on an ornament. And so there is just like a standard icicle ornament with just some beautiful beads, and you know, you can't go wrong. And I'll put anything I want at the top there to hang that up. So we've got that one. Friends, well, here's what I want to do. I want to do one of these with you. Okay, I want to do a spiral. These, friends, are some of my absolute favorites. And so let me pull these out of the way, and I'll pull them all in at the end, don't you worry. And here's what we're going to do. So there is my 16 gauge wire. I have about a 20-inch piece. Okay, so what I am going to do, the first thing, is I am going to actually make a large enough loop, okay, to get around here. And I'm going to be super careful because this is a canine crystal. Let me pull you down. And so I am going to kind of do like a bend situation, but I'm going to start using my pliers here. And then we'll just do like kind of like a small little wrap around. So I'm going to push this up, okay? And then I'm going to bend the top up, okay? So we essentially just kind of put it in there like that, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of grab this back little piece, and I'm going to bend it forward. And carefully, see if I can get that forward a little more. There we go. And now I'm going to just carefully grab this wire, and I'm going to wrap it around one time. That's all I need for my prism on the bottom. Okay, my friends, I have finished beading up my beautiful, what is about to be a spiral icicle ornament. And I just want to do a quick recap, okay? Because we're about to be finished. This is 20 inches of 16 gauge wire. You watched me do the prism. We just wrapped that around 1.5 rotations to secure the prism on the bottom. The same case would apply with any charm or any dangle, anything you want you can put down here, okay? And then I used 3 of these 14mm beads, okay? And then I used the 8mm faceted rondelles in champagne, and I used an entire strand. So there's an entire strand of the bond there, okay? I stopped here where I have from that last bead to the edge of my wire is about roughly 2.5 inches. We know we need this much excess wire after we're beading because our beads need to expand without cracking once we start to twirly twirl. And we need a little bit of room so we can do either a simple loop or a wire wrap loop, or if we wanted to even make our own hook out of the same wire, because this is 16 gauge, we could do that too. So do give yourself enough allocated wire at the end of your beading for any of those variations that you choose to do. You do not want to short yourself wire, okay? I am going to now kind of go up just a little bit with my pliers from that last bead, and I'm going to put, again, I'm going to go up like, let's say that's an inch, okay? And I'm going to put a hard bend in that wire. That's going to act as my stopper, okay? And we're going to do the fun stuff, the twirly twirl with Her Highness. I love, guys, you don't even understand how much I love those. She is my buddy. She's my favorite. I love those. I can't. Okay, so we're going to be careful of my prism at the bottom, and I'm going to be careful in general to not crack all my glass crystals here. So we're just going to twirly twirl, guys, very similar to what we were doing with the beaded tree. We're going to kind of just, you know, hold that, but I'm almost going to put it to the end of my object on the outside and hold that first bead. And I'm just going to now take and twirly twirl. And I do tend to start with a tight twirl and then loosen it up from there and shape it from there if I want to. And, you know, of course, we're dealing with 18 gauge here, so. Okay, so let's go around. There's that. And we can always, you know, do some more shaping if we need to. We absolutely can. Okay, and now I'm all the way around. And let me make sure I'm around here without messing with my prism. Okay, and then notice, I want you to notice right there from twirling it around, now I have more like a 1/4 inch of wire. And we bent it where we had exposed about 1 inch of wire. So do give yourself about 1 inch of wire for your beads to freely twirl. Freely twirl. Okay, and now we shall say goodbye until the next time. Here's what we pull this to our desired form now that we have the initial form in. So I'm going to kind of start by taking this prism here, and I'm going to kind of push this down towards my beading mat here, just a, you know, kind of slightly here, because that's just the way that I want it to be, right? So to start out, that's what I have. That's how it's going, okay? And from here, I can just, you know, expand these a little bit. I can even kind of twirl these around by hand if I want to at this point. Now, we know, right, the more that we work with the dead soft wire on the thicker gauges as well, no exception to the rule that the stiffer they get. So I'm wanting this to kind of be my front, and so I'm going to have to pay attention to what I'm doing here, because I just had that all going some kind of sideways. Okay, and look at, I am pretty much out of space, friends. So now I'm going to have to pull my wire out, and I'm going to have to hold it there now, because I think my beads need a little bit more room as I am doing my finessing here on this beauty. Oh my word. So I'm just kind of twirling it, guys, and just tugging on it, you know, a little bit as I'm kind of expanding it here to the way that I want it to look. Now this top one, again, I'm kind of just going to go up like this to where that's going to be just continuing to kind of almost center that and bring that up. And that looks very, very nice to me. And same thing, friends, do any kind of, you can do a hook right here if you want. You can do a wire wrap loop. You could also do a simple loop. I'm actually, let's get it down by one bail size here. So it's probably the 7mm, I believe. Okay, that's a little better. I'm just going to trim the excess, and I'm going to use my flush cutter side there. We're going to get rid of that wire. I am going to now snug that in, and let's pinch that back, get that nice and centered. And it doesn't even need any more tweaking. It looks pretty good to me. There we go, friends. That's what I have. That's what I have made. Is that stunning? I love these. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tomorrow is the finale, friends. Tomorrow is the finale. I bet you guys know if you've been popping in and out of my store because and you see all the kits for the 12 days, I will bet that you know what tomorrow is because you haven't seen it yet, but you probably have seen the kit. And most of you have been picking up those kits. So, yes, that is what I'm not going to say it out loud because you probably know. But that, yes, that is precisely what we are going to be making tomorrow. The one kit that's sitting in the store that has not been made just yet. Guys, look at these. Oh, I probably should put them in some particular order. All right, sure. Sure. Let me do that then. Okay, great. Oh my god. Guys, look at these. Oh, I can't hardly take it. And they're all different. They're all just so completely different. Then we have the wire that we spiral. Oh, oh my goodness. Look at these. Oh my word. And all of the tops are finished different. You know, they're all just finished so beautifully, guys. I love these so much. I literally, I'm not kidding you, not only do I gift them, I absolutely hang them up. I put them in my window. Oh my goodness. I've had compliments. Last year, my neighbors were complimenting this one and this one. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I made those. What? I'm like, oh yeah. They're like, no. Isn't that the best? See, again, the handmade, the beading, the craft, it doesn't get any better. It never stops getting better, does it? It never gets old. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm just loving these. And of course, this is the icicle one that, again, this one is a kit. This one and the golden, you know, you can make that one straight or twist it up. I just kind of bent it up, kind of fun. And then, of course, the golden glow, which is a kit very similar to the one I did today, but this one is a kit in my store as well as this one, these two. So, icicle ornaments, spiral icicle ornaments for day 11 for BEADMAS. My friends, I am going to see you tomorrow for the finale. You have an awesome rest of your Monday, my friends, and we'll see you then. Be blessed.